Okay. Thank you very much for tuning back in here to the Fortune Tellers podcast second episode. So we actually got past episode one. This is Juffles. I'm joined here today by Teebs.
Howdy.
And so we had a little bit of a mishap this week with the Smackdown and Raw. It was the Christmas episodes. It was Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Raw was on Christmas Eve, Smackdown on Christmas Day. They were all pre-taped. Unfortunately, I had a little technical difficulties with my DVR. There was an issue where my DVR wasn't plugged in for Raw, and I'm going to blame that one on my girlfriend. But the second night, it was plugged in, but for some reason, Spectrum screwed up and didn't have any of the listings on there, so it didn't know what to record. So I didn't get to see SmackDown or Raw, unfortunately. I would have watched it, didn't get to see any highlights or anything. So unfortunately, Teebs is the only one who's seen anything. He's going to go through things. I'm going to give my reaction. This is the first I'm hearing anything that's happened. So it's actually going to be a genuine reaction from me. He's probably going to do most of the talking, and I'll just give reactions. So if you want to start off with a Christmas Eve episode of Raw, you want to start off with that, we could definitely do that.
Fun. I'm gonna try and not ramble as much this week, which is gonna be hard for me. But
yeah, okay.
Well, Raw started out with just like a normal Christmassy opening, like for the show, just I guess to get you in the Christmassy mood. And it started with Elias in the ring, and he was singing his old song, of course, talking about how Bobby Lashley sucks, and which I should note that, like, I can't really tell which was real in terms of the crowd reaction because it was so edited. Like, sometimes you could tell that the crowd was so edited. Like normally crowd editing was like okay for years because SmackDown was always edited and taped, but like this just seemed odd. This crowd editing, like
it's like Roman Reigns level of like.
No, it just seemed like poorly done. I mean, I'm not an editor, but it just sounded off. But that's just a nitpick. But throughout the night, you can't really tell which was a real reaction and which wasn't. But anyways, Elias is singing, talking about how Lashley sucks, and Lashley comes out, and they're about to have a Miracle on 34th Street fight. And honestly, this match was fun. Like, a lot of people hate the gimmicked matches Christmas for like match. Holidays. Yeah, like the Thanksgiving stuff and the Halloween stuff that New Day did. Like, a lot of people hate that thing, but I don't see a problem with it. It's just, it's just a dumb, stupid match for Christmas,
Yeah, it's like a one-off.
And this match was actually fun, I thought. Like, there was a lot of obviously there was a lot of Christmas themed stuff. They took weapons out of present boxes, and Elias at one point took a candy cane kendo stick out of a present box and hit Lashley over the back with it, which was funny. And then before that, Elias threw a tree at Lashley, like a big old Christmas tree, and Lashley like sold it great because his facial expression was great, and it reminded me of the barbed wire Christmas tree from TNA.
Oh my God!
Do you remember that?
Oh my God! Yes. Was that during the Abyss match?
I think Abyss was in it. Yeah, it was Abyss, Shark Boy, and
Black Rain.
Black Rain. That's right.
Oh
yeah.
My God!
I know you not the Goldust.
Yeah, and I know you're not like a huge podcast guy, but if you ever get the chance, listen to OSW Review. And they did a whole series, and they did a whole story arc on Black Rain.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was funny.
That must have taken some patience. So yeah, it reminded me of the barbed wire Christmas tree because only this time the tree in this match wasn't hanging from the ceiling.
I mean, I'm glad because that looked silly back in TNA.
Yeah, it was. Well, it was pretty dumb. It was hanging. They swung it around, and that was funny. So that's all. I just thought That was pretty funny, and he's hit him, and it also was kind of like that Vine, you know, where the dude throws the tree at whatever, I can't remember. But anyways, they had a lot of spots where they just throw like a bunch of stuff at each other, and like it was just your typical gimmick street fight, you know. And the big spot was Leo Rush is outside the ring and assisting Lashley throughout the whole match, and he gives him a present, and Lashley opens it and pours Legos into the ring as if they're tacks, you know. And the crowd, I think this wasn't edited. The crowd like popped for that, you know, as if it was actually tacks, you know. And so Lashley gets Elias up on the top rope, and it looks like he's gonna superplex him through the Legos, and he was actually like, if you notice, he was actually like too close. Like he would have, if he would have fell backward and actually superplexed Elias onto the Legos, he would have just taken the Legos himself, because the Legos were way too close to the corner.
Yeah.
Which is what I notice a lot when people do, like, they tease them doing that through like a table, you know?
Yeah.
Where their table's too close to the corner. So
well, that happens a lot with the tax, because if you remember, like, Randy Orton always takes the tax when he does the RKO.
Right. Yeah, like Mick Foley throwing him into it. That was a little different. But anyways, I knew the second Lashley went up there that Lashley was going to go through the Legos, and Elias and him are battling on the top rope, and Elias wills Lashley off of him and like forearms him or whatever, and Elias takes this bump into the Legos, and it could have been worse. Like, I thought he didn't miss a lot of it, but like he missed some of it. It could have been worse, and one of the Legos was sticking in his back, which did not look pleasant at all.
Really?
Yeah, it was stuck in his back, you know, like a tack.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that must have been painful. And
just as a side note, you know, I've been at a live event where the tacks have been pulled out. I went to Extreme Rules. I think it was 2016 or 2015. It was the one that was in New Jersey with the Ambrose Asylum match.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
against
Jericho, and that match killed the crowd until the very end, when Dean pulled his tacks out, or Jericho pulled the tacks out, I think. But
right.
But yeah, that crowd was dead for that match.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that match, to be honest. So I can't really. I remember the finish, you know.
Yeah, the finish was nice, and like they got the crowd to pop by the end. I mean, that was when Seth Rollins came back from his injury.
Oh, that's right, against Roman later. That
it was
night,
so
right?
funny, actually. You know, as another aside, when we went to that show, me and a couple of my friends went, and Roman beat AJ Styles clean, just like he always does. And I was waiting for him to like turn or something, because I wanted something new.
That was wishful thinking.
Yeah, and so like I'm standing there, and Roman's just like holding the title, and he has I think he had like the Usos coming out with him or something like that. And like he's getting booze, and I turn to my friend and I say, you know, this is dumb. They're not even going to do anything. And I missed Seth Rollins. Like, I missed him coming in. Like, I saw obviously him attack Roman, but I missed him enter the ring. All I heard was the crowd just explode. And then, like, I turned around and I just saw Seth Rollins pedigree Roman Reigns. So
that sucks. You know, at least they did something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought near the end of it, you think that normally the tax is the finish, right? Because you go through tax, like, that's it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I mean, you can hit your finisher afterwards, like freaking Mankind and Undertaker at Hell in a Cell. He went through the tax twice and then took the tombstone. Mm-hmm. But the tax is like the finish, but Elias just poured it on poor Lashley. He got a fire extinguisher out and sprayed him in the face with it. And just kept spraying him, and then he got him into the corner, and he hit him with the fire extinguisher, and he was like, he hit the corner, and he was sitting down in the corner, like with his legs spread. So then he got another present, and there was a bowling ball in it, and you know what's gonna happen next. He takes the bowling ball and he throws it into his nuts, and honestly, I couldn't tell, but I couldn't tell if he like raised his hand to block it last second, you know. Like with clever camera work, they didn't really show his nuts getting hurt, but he suspension of disbelief.
Well, he's going to be a member of the Force. He's going to cut his nuts off.
Yeah. No, he didn't just cut his nuts off. He got his nuts pummeled off with a bowling ball. Yeah, he can join the list of people that get hit in the nuts with a bowling ball. He can join whoever it was, Alberto. You remember that?
Yeah. He didn't take that one like believably though.
Yeah, he kind of like keeled over after he took it. But
that and like he didn't actually take it in the nuts. You could tell he like blocked it.
Right. I mean, you can't take it in the nuts. I doubt they're wearing cups. You know what I mean? I mean, I guess some of them do, but
I mean, I would think at least if you're like you're going to do that spot in a match, you might want to bring a cup.
Yeah, maybe. Like they would cut. Yeah, they would be prepared just a little bit. But maybe you could tell, and maybe you could tell if he was wearing a cup, and that's why they wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Or maybe it would just be uncomfortable and get in the way of Lashley's huge junk. Do you remember his Magnum Dong? Do you remember a couple weeks ago where it looked? I could have swore that Lashley got a hard on in the ring.
He had a chubby.
Yeah, like he popped wood in the ring. I could have swore.
Was he wrestling at the time?
He was doing one of those pose offs with Leo. You know, Leo's his hype man, so he's telling him to pose and stuff. And I could have swore he had frickin' some, you know.
Well, I mean, Balor does that all the time.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know about that because this just looked odd. But either way, he hits him in the nuts with a bowling ball, and you think that would be the finish after the Legos, fire extinguisher, and now a bowling ball, but no. Elias takes out a big cello. Like his gimmick is a guitar, you know. So he takes out a big cello from a present box, you know.
Oh, so they stole Braun Strowman's thing.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That was and if you remember, then that was also the finish. Strowman hit him with the giant cello, and that was the finish. This was the finish. He hit him in the cello with the cello. So I guess the most protected finish in wrestling history so far is the giant cello to the back.
And the Cobra.
And the Cobra, yes.
I think I saw someone do a retrospective. No one's ever kicked out of the Cobra.
Really?
Really?
I don't know about that. I think Daniel Bryan kicked out of it. Because I remember I remember in the Elimination Chamber, Santino and Daniel were the last two, and Daniel got hit with it, and Daniel kicked out.
I don't think Daniel kicked out. I think what happened is it's never been kicked out of immediately. Like I think maybe Santino took a little bit of time to cover him.
Oh, okay.
But like he hits the Cobra and then he pins somebody. I don't think he's ever that's been kicked out of.
Wow, that's. What an odd finisher to protect.
Oh wait, no. Hold on. I think I remember someone did say Daniel Bryan kicked out of it, but he didn't have the Cobra sock on, and if that's not the full Cobra, that's not the full Cobra. Just like Mr. Sacco, the Mandible Claw isn't Mr. Sacco.
It's not. It's a half chub.
Exactly. It's not the full finish. If he had the sock on, Daniel Bryan's fucked.
It's not full Lashley chub.
Yeah. Or Finn Balor chub.
Or Finn Balor chub, yes. Well, Elias won with this cello to the back, and he pinned him. And Leo Rush is outside trying. After the match, Leo Rush is trying to mess with Elias, I think, and he's on the apron. And there's a table of Christmas foods and eggnog and all this stuff, because they always do that for the gimmick fights. They have the tables of food and Leo's on the apron with his back towards the table of food and stuff, so he's going to go through it. And Elias pushes him or punches him through off the apron through the table, and that was a pretty good bump, I'd say, through all that food, and he got messed up. And then he went to the eggnog and poured some eggnog all over him, and that was that. So I think that's the end of this feud because Elias just beat them 2-on-1 in a no DQ match and bested both of them,
Yeah, pretty much.
I think that's it. It should be.
I don't know
So
where they could go.
yeah.
I'm really
And
surprised Elias took the win, though.
You're surprised what?
Elias took the win. I mean, Lashley, you would think that they would want to, like...
I know Elias has bested Lashley in both bouts. He won at TLC in that ladder match on the pre-show, and he won here. So,
Sure.
Are they burying Lashley? No.
Or are they pushing Elias?
Well, let me tell you, they buried Lashley when they didn't have him come back as a heel, like originally.
Yeah.
I'd say, because he did nothing as a face. Because he can't sell.
Remember the whole Sami Zayn thing?
Oh, that did no favors for either of them. Sammy was actually good with his delivery because he's so good at what he does, but it couldn't save it, you know?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's move on to the next thing.
Next they were doing segments backstage throughout the entire night, asking superstars what they want for Christmas, you know, or what their Christmas wish list looks like. And Heath Slater's back there, and he's saying that he wants Rhino back on the show because he got fired, you know?
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago. He got quote-unquote fired because Corbin was a dipshit. So, did anybody really care? No disrespect to Rhino or Slater, but like...
No, I didn't care.
That angle was stupid anyways, because Corbin was trying to tell me and everyone else that they only had room for, like, one more jobber instead of two. Like, that was just odd. Maybe, I don't know. It doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things.
How about this? We only have room for one more jobber, but we're going to be bringing up NXT call-ups in 2 weeks.
Maybe that's why they needed to make room.
Yeah.
Well, don't worry. They'll probably be jobbers in no time.
Yeah.
Sadly, you know. I mean, they're all great, but come on.
EC getting 3 counted in the middle.
Lars is not going to be a jobber. You know, Lars is a monster. Has there ever been a monster that's a jobber? That was a jobber? Snitsky? Snitsky never won much. He never won much, did he?
No,
maybe when he first started, but like around after 2006 or something.
Bray Wyatt.
Well, I don't know if I'd consider him a monster. He's the eater of worlds, but
Kane for a while. He got kind of jobbed out for a little bit.
The eater of pinfalls.
Big Show.
He's had some moments, yeah, where they just use him to get a guy over because he's so big.
Remember during the Cody Rhodes match when he stepped through the table?
That was actually a clever finish, I thought. Because he stepped through it and his face was like, oh shit, like he knew he fucked up, you know? I thought that was funny.
Yeah, and then he lost the title on that.
Oh, that was the Intercontinental
yeah.
Wait, was that the Intercontinental?
It was, yeah.
Damn, I forgot he was Intercontinental champion. Man. That was a totally forgettable reign. But I thought that was a funny finish. I remember that.
Do you think that Cena's never been IC champ?
Oh, man. He'll beat Dean.
Yeah.
Maybe he should. Maybe they'll have a good program.
Yeah.
Well, they already tried that in 2016 for the world title, and it was all right, I guess.
Yeah.
But either way, next we have the Revival versus Rude and Gable for the tag team championships, and I thought this was a pretty good match. Like, you give these guys time, and of course they're gonna do good because Revival is really good. Bobby Roode's a veteran, you know. Chad Gable's awesome for how like young he is, and he hasn't been doing it that long, I don't think. And yeah, man, I think, man, these teams have got chemistry, I think, because, well, I think they're going to do a rematch because the finish of this match was
kind of wonky.
Yeah, the finish was hokey, where Rude and Gable retained the titles, but they pinned the wrong man. They pinned the illegal man.
Oh.
I can't remember who it was. It was who got pinned? He got small packaged, and he pinned Dawson, but what's his face? Wilder was I couldn't remember his name. Wilder was actually the legal man, but they pinned Dawson. And Revival, of course. Why are Revival always faces in these scenarios?
Yeah, I don't get it, because it seems like they should be the ones winning by heel, like, shit.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this was just a way to set up a rematch, you know? Maybe because they were screwed, so I guess they get another chance, right? Because
Yeah.
I guess if Revival were to win the titles,
nobody would see it on Christmas Eve. So,
or I wasn't even going to say that, but that's true. Or that they don't do the rematch clause anymore.
yeah.
Also, it's funny we mentioned that because like a week ago they advertised like official on Main Event. I don't watch Main Event, but I saw this. They advertised on Main Event Becky Lynch versus Asuka at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, and then
they pulled it back. Yeah, they redacted it. And like Paige took the blame, or not blame, but she like failed in trying to make one last match. So I don't mind that decision. I think Becky Lynch should win the Rumble. I don't think they should pull a Roman Reigns. You know what I mean? Where he's in a title match and then he just gets in the ring in the Rumble.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I mean?
a heel thing. And
like what was gonna happen if like he won the Rumble or won the title against Owens, and then he shows up in the Rumble?
Yeah,
that's preposterous.
Maybe it would have been Owens' spot.
So the last spot in the Rumble, because he came out 30. So the last spot in the Rumble wasn't decided until that match was over.
Well, that, and think about it this way too. There was another title match, John Cena versus AJ Styles, and AJ lost that match, but he didn't get a Rumble spot.
Yeah, he could have replaced one of the jobbers.
You know, the jobbers like Baron Corbin.
Oh, dude, they could have done that last year. They could have done John Cena and Randy Orton at WrestleMania because that's when Orton won the Rumble.
Yeah, that was.
Oh, dude, I was scared. Can you imagine? They do that match again. Oh, especially after all the times they told us that this would be the last time Cena and Orton face each other.
Do you think that they're eventually going to have Cena win 17 off of Orton?
Off of Orton. Probably
just
not.
as a big fuck you from Vince.
Nah, I don't think Orton's ever going to win the title again because he's got like a lax schedule and he doesn't even do house shows, I don't think. And if he does, he doesn't do them often.
Nah, they're going to give it to him at least one more time.
Maybe.
I mean, we don't know what his I mean, you never know. He could end up blowing a drug test tomorrow.
Actually, I think maybe Cena might not want to be champion again.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because
we talked about this last time, but we always did we? Yeah, we did talk about Cena and extensive. But yeah, I hope he does because I think he deserves it. But if he doesn't want to, I don't think he should be.
I think it's kind of cool that it's like tied between Flair and Cena in a weird way. It's kind of neat. You know what I mean? Like
it's like a throwback between two different eras, kind of.
Yeah, it's okay because they're just gonna have Charlotte beat Flair's record because she's already an 8-time women's champion.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That just shows her. Doesn't that kind of in a weird way? She's only been on the main roster since 2015. So she's only been on the main roster for 3 years. She's an 8-time champion. Doesn't that kind of tell you that she can't keep her title?
Well, I mean, Sasha Banks is a 3-time champion.
Yeah, that too. She's a 4-time champion. So she never it's statistical. It's a statistical fact that she did not keep her title for more than 30 days in each reign.
Well, also, she's never won a title. Like, she's never defended her title. She's always lost it in the next match.
Yeah, that's true. And it was always against Charlotte, wasn't it?
I think one of them was Bayley. Maybe? I don't know.
No, I think they were against Charlotte.
Were they all against Charlotte?
I'm pretty sure because they played hot potato on Raw a bunch of times. They had that awesome Falls Kind of Newer match where Sasha won against Charlotte, and then Ric Flair came out and raised Sasha's hand because that's when Charlotte and Rick were kind of like on bad terms, storyline. And then Charlotte won it immediately, and I can't remember. There were so many title changes, like, kind of devalued the title a little bit. Don't you think? Like, Maybe.
Yeah. So okay. Yeah. Her first women's championship, Charlotte beat her for that. Then she lost at Roadblock end of the line.
That was the Iron Woman match, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
All right, and then her last one. She lost to Alexa Bliss.
Right. That was when was that?
I don't know. I closed the tab.
That was, I can't remember because Alexa's been champion for so long. She's not anymore, obviously, but she was champion for such a long time.
Yeah.
And every Sasha fan on earth hated it. It's just comical to me that, whatever. We don't need to get into that. There's a time and a place. We'll probably get into it. Remember when we said I was going to try to not ramble as much?
Yeah, right.
So yeah, Revival got screwed. Their faces, pretty much, to me at least. That's the vibe I get. They were fucked again. So this is the new era. And they have them screwed again. First Lucha House Rules and now this. That's interesting. I know it's probably just to set up a rematch, but
I mean, they should have Lucha House Rules all of this, you know.
Yeah, they should have had yeah, why didn't they just find a new partner during all that?
Yeah.
Jim Cornette. Jim Cornette comes out to manage them. That would be awesome though. Jim Cornette loves them.
The Revival. I thought you were talking about Lucha House Party. I was
he loves the Revival a lot.
Yeah, but I don't know if they want to do anything with Jim Cornette anymore. I mean,
I don't think Jim Cornette probably doesn't want to do all that traveling.
Yeah. Well, he can't go to Canada.
Really?
He can't leave the United States.
Why is that?
He has an assault on his record that he can't.
Really? Oh, was that
the drive-through? I think.
No, the drive-through incident with Dairy Queen was like in the 90s.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, that was
no, it was Santino, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was Santino. It was at that convention. He got in his face or whatever.
Yeah, because remember, I don't know if you knew this, but like the reason why he doesn't like Santino is because Santino no-sold the Boogeyman scaring
in OVW.
Yeah,
that's right. Wow, what a story! So he still held it all after all these years.
I know Jim Cornette's a weird dude.
I like Jim Cornette, and I agree with some of the things he says, but he's just.
I remember that day back in the day when your profile picture on Twitter was Jim Cornette.
Yeah, the famous Vince Russo shoot promo. You remember that? Yeah. His famous shoot on Vince Russo. And that's the only thing I don't mind him holding after all these years, because Vince Russo's an idiot.
Yeah.
I don't agree with him at all, but I don't know. I think Jim Cornette needs to chill out a little bit sometimes. But I like him. He's cool. Yeah, he's Jim Cornette, you know. What are you gonna say about him? But
yeah, let's move it on to the next thing.
Right. So they get back from commercial and they do more of these superstar segments where they ask what they want for Christmas, and Kurt Hawkins is backstage, and there was one about Lucha House Party, but there's really not much there. But Kurt Hawkins is like, "Oh, I want some." I can't even remember what he says, but he says something that isn't a win, because that's the obvious answer. Because it's Kurt Hawkins, because he has that streak.
Yeah.
And somebody like from Offset is like, "Kurt, what about, you know?" And then like Kurt looks down at his shirt because he has a shirt, you know, with like 0 and like 1,000 tally marks.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh yeah, a win. That would be nice too." And then it like cuts to No Way Jose. And
now, how many times? Like, how long are they going to drag that out? Because remember, they started teasing that a long time ago.
Yeah, it's been years.
Well, yeah, he hasn't won since he came back to WWE. But remember they started having segments on Raw where he would just be getting beat, and they would go like, "Oh, it's been this, like he's owing this now," and then they stopped doing that.
He almost won this year on Raw. but then Corbin came out. This was before he was GM, but Corbin came out.
I remember that.
He like screwed him over.
Was it like an open challenge or something like that?
It was a local competitor. So you think for sure Kurt Hawkins is gonna win. There was like food outside the ring too. I can't even remember.
I remember that. Yeah.
For. I think was it Memorial Day? I can't remember.
Or 4th of July or something.
4th of July maybe. Man, that's so long ago. What happened, man? Well, anyways, they show off the NXT call up video packages again. They showed that twice tonight on Raw. Like yeah, filler. Like, man, it's taped and edited, and I guess they gotta fill the time somehow. And Dolph Ziggler is talking about how he's gonna, pretty much just beat Finn and Drew in the triple threat. And that's actually the next match, the triple threat between Dolph, Drew, and Finn. And this was a fun match, I thought, for the most part. And Drew was huh?
I was actually going to say, does the person who I hope won?
Big Hog Finn?
Oh no, I was going to say McIntyre.
Actually no, but he didn't get pinned. Oh, they interviewed Drew, and Drew is so good on the mic, like he's the full package. If there's ever a guy, and Vince probably still likes him, I would hope, right? Remember when he was the chosen one?
Yeah, and you know what? I'm sorry, and I'm probably gonna get a lot of shit for this, but
you don't see it?
No, his old theme needs to be back.
I agree. His old theme. Wait, are you talking about Broken Dreams?
Broken Dreams.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the one he had in NXT.
No, Broken Dreams.
Oh, okay. Well, I prefer Broken Dreams over the current one too, but I really liked his NXT theme. I thought that was awesome, but now it sounds like the Terminator.
Yeah, I want Broken Dreams back because it was such like a different thing, like, that slow beginning, and then
he walks out slowly, and and he's actually got more of a presence for that kind of song now.
Yeah, he does.
Back then he wore white, he had a ponytail, and his hair was more blonde. And
is it me, or does he look taller now than he did before?
Maybe a little bit. He was pretty tall. He was pretty tall back then, even still. But anyways, he cuts a promo, and he's talking about how he's entering in the Royal Rumble now. So he's confirmed to be in the Rumble, so maybe he'll win. But it'll probably be freaking Shane McMahon. He's the best in the world.
Oh, honestly, yeah. Without Roman, I don't know who's going to win the Rumble. And that's actually a good thing.
Without Roman?
Maybe it'll be Miz.
People have been saying Miz, but I don't like that.
Really? You don't like Miz Bryan at Mania?
No, I don't think that's a good idea. I think that also Miz probably won't win it because he's doing that thing with Shane now. But we'll get to that on the SmackDown review. I think it should be a dude that's like would benefit from it most. Like Miz is like great and everything, but he doesn't need to win the Rumble, in my opinion. Like maybe it could be entertaining, but I just don't think it needs to happen.
I think he could. I think he deserves it though. Like give him a shot and see where he can go with it, because he's made like, chicken salad out of chicken shit. So I don't know. I'm also biased because I love The Miz, but
I love The Miz too. He's cool, but I don't know how the dynamic between him and Bryan would work since now he's a face and he's a heel.
Well, I know, but like that could be. I don't know. Maybe could be something you can figure.
Because they've been doing this story for like 8 years now, where Miz was always heel, and now all out of the blue, they're just kind of opposite now. But either actually is Miz even face? We'll get to that. I'll get to that. I have something to say about the Miz thing on SmackDown. But anyways, Dolph, Drew, and Finn, they have a good sequence near the end where it looks like Ziggler. Actually, I thought Ziggler hit the zigzag on. I can't remember, but McIntyre he hit the zigzag on him. I thought he was actually going to win because the match was kind of long at that point, and then one thing leads to another, and Dolph gets pinned by Balor after Drew was like, laid out by I think Ziggler hit the zigzag on Drew, and then that leaves him out of the ring, and then Finn hits the coup de grace, or as Corey Graves calls it, the coup de grace, which is so stupid.
Why would you even say it like that, Corey?
Because Cole says coup de grace all the time, and here's Corey completely butchering it. But anyways, that just got on my nerves because he does that all the time. But Finn wins. He doesn't pin McIntyre, which I guess is okay if he was gonna lose. You know what I mean? It doesn't really.
Yeah.
But then after the match, Drew is pissed off that he lost, right?
Mhm.
So Ziggler's in the ring and he's in pain, you know, because he took the coup de grace. And McIntyre gets in the ring and he is just beating him up or whatever, and he's telling him all this pretty much the same stuff he tells him all the time, like, you're nothing. There's only room for one of us, you know, and just out of nowhere, I don't even know how it happened. There was
I don't know why. It feels like this feud has no direction.
It doesn't, and Ziggler zigzagged Drew after the match, so Ziggler lost the match fair and square, and Drew is gonna lay him out, but then out of nowhere, Dolph, the loser, stands tall over the loser. That was honestly, that's a big win for Finn. But I know they're trying to keep things centered around Drew because that's what they want to do, obviously. But nobody I mean, they made it about the losers. I don't know. That's just kind of an odd. That's kind of an odd dynamic.
I also feel like if you're going to have a tag team breakup angle like Drew and Dolph, why are you involving Finn Balor?
That's a good question. I don't know. Well, if you remember, Dolph helped Finn beat McIntyre in a one-on-one weeks ago, and then Finn backstage was like, "Oh, I didn't need his help anyways," and Dolph was like, "Oh, seriously?" And then they brawled, and then that's how he gets interjected. So
I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me if they're not going to have a title involved.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's no title that really could be involved. You know what I mean?
Right. Huh. I guess they're. What if they? Oh man. Well, they're not gonna have a match at Rumble because Drew's in the Rumble. That can't be possible, right?
I mean, I guess you could have Dolph versus Finn. I mean, that's dumb, but
I guess you could still have Ziggler and Drew at the Rumble because it's not a title match. I guess they could still be in the Rumble because Rollins was in the Rumble this year and he was in the tag. Wasn't he in a tag match?
Tag title match, yeah.
Yeah, and he still was in the Rumble. So, and they've had champions, not world champions, but they've had champions in the Rumble before. I guess it could still happen. Yeah, they could easily do Ziggler and Drew at Rumble. But either way, Ziggler stands tall over Drew, and his music hits, and I'm like, okay, that was an odd sequence. So, and then I'm not even going to bother mentioning the B team segments backstage because all through the night they were just caroling and stuff, and it means nothing. It was just lame comedy, and it wasn't even that funny. They didn't even bother editing the crowd in over that. They did this. It's like NXT where the crowd doesn't react to the segments on screen, you know, backstage. Yeah. So, the big thing that happened though, Vince McMahon was dressed up as Santa Claus, in front.
I'm so upset that I missed this.
In front of a TV with a fireplace, you know.
Oh my God.
It's like he's Santa Claus, you know, and he's. I just think this is hilarious because it's always cool seeing Vince and everything. We might complain about him a lot, rightfully so or not rightfully so, but seeing Vince like this is just great.
Also, Vince makes everything feel important.
Yeah, it's true. When Vince is on the TV, it's got to be important, and because he doesn't show up very often anymore. You know, he showed up all the time back in the Attitude Era and everything, and even after that. But
yeah,
when it happens now, it's important because he's old. He probably doesn't want to do much, but he's Santa Claus, you know, and he announced a shit ton of stuff. he announced that John Cena is coming back next week. Actually, today and tomorrow, because Raw and SmackDown is being taped today and tomorrow, respectively. And actually, he's returning to SmackDown, I believe, first, John Cena. So, I wonder what he's going to do there. And so he announces John Cena is coming back, and then he announces a steel cage match next week between Dolph and Drew, which I guess is the main event. They didn't really make it clear. It should be. It's a steel cage match. You know what I mean? And then he announced finally the women's tag team championships.
Oh, there you go.
Finally. So
finally, yeah.
I don't know what to think of that. I think the main roster of women is small. So if they're going to do that, I think they probably, I don't know, are they just going to make random ass tag teams? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe they could do Alexa and Mickie James. You know? Maybe they could do that. Maybe I saw that it looks like Naomi and Lana are going to team up, which is just an amazing team. So they've got a couple tag teams. They've got Nia and Tamina. They've got Riot Squad, Iconic Duo, Mandy and Sonya. Obviously, Sasha and Bailey. They've got a couple tag teams, but that's kind of a small. They're obviously it's gonna be one championship between two shows.
I hope.
It has to be. The roster but for the women is way too small for that. To have Raw tag team titles and SmackDown tag team titles. Like they would have to split it up between both shows, I would think. Which is odd because they have Raw tag titles for the men and SmackDown tag titles for the men.
There's many more tag teams for the men.
Right, that's true. So it's
I mean, maybe if they get to the point where they have enough NXT women call-ups to where they can actually
that's what I was thinking. Maybe they could call up some women like I don't know who would be tag team though. But it's kind of weird that they would. I mean, they might just pair up some random people together and see what happens. You know, they could have Dakota.
Isn't like I was gonna say you could have
Dakota Kai and Tegan Knox.
Yeah, or Shayna Baszler's ladies.
Oh, yeah, Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke. Yeah, that's true. They could do that. But they're kind of green a little, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're not ready to be called up. They're not bad. And I think Marina Shafir only started like this year or last year, and Jessamine Duke's been wrestling longer. I think she's been wrestling for like a year or two. But either way, they could call up, Tegan Knox is still injured, but they could call up Dakota Kai and Tegan Knox and have them be a tag team because they're like best friends, you know. They tagged a little bit. And they could have Kairi Sane and Io Shirai, but they're so good. They don't need. I don't want to say they don't need tag titles because titles are important no matter what, but they're so good that they should like be going for the singles titles, you know. Either way, we'll see what happens. I don't want to just shit on it immediately. I have my doubts, but we'll see what happens. Obviously. So after that, the next match was Alicia Fox, Dana Brooke, Mickie James versus the Boston Hug Connection. And,
I hate that name.
Yeah, it's lame. But what are you going to do, you know? And Ember Moon. So it's a 6-woman tag match. And it was kind of sloppy in points. But it was like, whatever, you know? There's not much of a problem with it. It's just a 6-woman tag match, you know what I mean? But I have to point this out. You know how Alicia Fox's gimmick is that she's like a captain, right? Yeah. She's like the captain. She's like kind of like a sailor type thing a little bit.
Yeah.
So, and then they did the whole thing last year when she was the captain of the Survivor Series.
Yeah, I think that's why she had that gimmick.
Right. So she's been like the captain, quote unquote, for like a year now, and the commentary is. Instead of calling the match, there's a match going on, and there's like moves and spots going on, and they're arguing about Captain Crunch, and like what captain is she? Is she a captain like Captain Crunch, or is she the captain of a ship? And then Renee's like, oh, I think she means that she's the captain of the the brand, the women's division, and like. There's a match going on, and they're arguing about stupid shit. Like I get that that's her gimmick, but
I also think that like
Captain Crunch.
they haven't done a good job of actually establishing Alicia's gimmick.
I think they might have, maybe it's just because she's a jobber.
Well, she's a jobber, and she's also like, she seems like she's a comedy act.
Right.
You know, she's not. Remember when Alicia Fox was Divas champion, by the way?
Yeah, she was the first ever Black Divas champion. But didn't she say one day that she was the first ever Black champion? But that's not true. Wasn't Jacqueline women's champion?
Yeah, Jazz.
Maybe she only meant Divas champion, which is okay. That's fair game. That's true. But is that really the moniker that you want? You know what I mean? She was Divas champion. She was the champion in an era of when they did not take women seriously whatsoever. She was still a champion. I'm not trying to take away her accomplishments and everything, but you know, either way,
I totally agree. Like, that title is something that if I was a woman in the roster, I would just want to brush under the rug.
Yeah, and you get people like defending it. You remember when didn't the Bella Twins try to defend it as well?
Oh yeah, remember, because they were talking. Wasn't that when they were with when Nikki was feuding with Ronda?
Yeah. It was, and that was a period when Carmella was still champion and Charlotte called her a diva. And Carmella was like, "You're damn right I'm a diva," and she liked it. And I'm like, so you're trying to portray that we're past this divas era, which was so bad and everything, but at the same time, I guess she was a heel, but then in real life, then the Bella Twins were defending the diva term. That wasn't even part of the story. That was just in real life in like an interview. I doubt they were keeping kayfabe alive outside of the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The only thing that I can give it a pass on is that, like, you need to have a diversity of character. At least, like, there can be characters that embrace the whole diva aspect of it, like Carmella. Like, maybe, sorry, I don't have my headphones off. Maybe like Carmella. Even she's not the most technically sound wrestler, but like maybe she enjoys the whole diva aspect. Maybe that's what brought her in. And I'm okay with a few of the heel characters being that way.
Right.
Like maybe some leftovers from the diva era, just like Alicia Fox, or even I know Carmella came in when the women's wrestling was being better, but still she has that diva air to her.
Right. She's fabulous.
Yeah.
She's got diva written all over, and that's her character, and she's great at it.
So I think that's okay to have a couple of those, but like when the whole division was built on that's a problem.
Yeah, when the whole division was, it's no lie that the Divas division was like bad. No disrespect to the women, because they're lovely women, and I got nothing against this. Actually, this is nothing against the women at all. It's just the fact that they, like,
well, the women tried their best. Like
what were they supposed to do? Like, they didn't shit the bed on purpose. They had a fucking butterfly belt. And AJ Lee was the hugest, like, non-diva that won it, and she made it actually mean something.
Yeah, AJ Lee and then Paige.
Yeah, and Paige. And that's when it started to get better. And I don't know. I think it was a weird mix where
I think we gotta get on track.
Yeah, that's true. They had a nothing 6-woman tag match where Sasha hit the backstabber and then Bayley hit the belly to belly onto Mickie James, and that was that. That was it wasn't. Riot Squad laid them out after the match. Squad laid them out, and that also looked awkward too. They threw him out of the ring, and they were just kind of laying on the ground as if they got hit by a cello, but they only got thrown out of the ring. So that was
hit by a cello.
Yeah, so that was kind of it. So I guess that looked like the Royal Rumble. You know how they do that leading up to the Royal Rumble, where they throw them over the ropes after a match, and
yeah. But also, I'm thinking it may be them trying to start their dominance for the women's tag team title.
Maybe too. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't know who's winning that. I would guess it would probably just be Bayley and Sasha, but we'll see.
They might start with Bayley and Sasha. Honestly, like I think you have to start with Bailey and Sasha.
Probably. It's kind of like you have to at this point because Sasha has been hyping it up. Bailey's been hyping it up. They're the most pushed tag team besides Riot Squad, and even then they're not necessarily pushed per se, but they're the most exposed on the show. So we'll see what happens. It'll probably be Bailey and Sasha. I don't mind that. It's whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So then Paul Heyman's in the ring and he's cutting a promo on behalf of his client Brock Lesnar, and he's singing a parody, a rewritten version of Silent Night towards Braun Strowman, you know. And his delivery was pretty good. I don't have the lyric sheet with me, but his delivery was pretty good. His voice cracked a couple times, but honestly, that added to the effect of it, I thought, kind of in a weird way.
Do you really expect a Jewish man to know 100%?
That's true. Maybe he was sick or something. But
I mean, I sure am.
And then Braun Strowman came out, you know, and Paul Heyman looked scared for his life when the music hit, the roar on his song. And Braun Strowman came in, and he had his arm was not in a sling, but it was like all wrapped up in stuff. So I guess that's a good sign for his arm and his elbow. So he pulled out a pair of antlers, like fake antlers, and a red nose, and put it on Paul Heyman.
I knew that was going to happen as soon as you said that.
He put a red nose on Paul Heyman and then a fake pair of antlers. So that was actually if you can look up a picture of that, that was his face when that happened was actually funny, Paul Heyman, because Paul Heyman is great, you know, at doing anything, and he just told him the pretty much. We've seen this happen a billion times. Braun's like, he's gonna get these hands, and Paul is like, no, he's the beast, and we've seen this match a billion times, and Braun's never gonna win. I don't think he's going to win at the Royal Rumble. Brock's going to retain. This feud means nothing to me, and I hate that because I love Braun Strowman, but they've totally made me not care about him, which is sad because he's over.
So this is the perfect time to bring up for the first time on the podcast the nut bet. So I'm going to explain what's going on. So me and Teebs have this thing where we have nuts, and you can only we're going to start from a clean slate. We each have 2 nuts.
Right.
And
it's just metaphorical.
Yeah, metaphorical nuts. Yeah. It's kind of like a point system in a way.
Right.
But you make a prediction. Basically, it's if something stupid happens, you will cut your nuts off.
Right.
And we usually do this to each other during the shows as they're happening. But we're going to keep a tally of the nuts. And I was kind of hoping, if you're up for it, Braun Strowman loses clean, we cut off our nuts.
See, I've made this bet before, though, because he's lost so many times. I know how many nuts I've lost on Brock Lesnar winning against anyone? I lost nuts at WrestleMania when he beat Roman. And we were for sure that Roman was going to win, but he didn't. I lost nuts at Crown Jewel. Cut off all my nuts. I had 8. Yeah. So the nut, the severity of the bet is gets how do I put this? The more nuts you bet, the more severe you think the stupidity would be. You know what I mean?
Yes, but also you can earn nuts by making outlandish predictions that come true.
That too. Or sometimes we just do whatever we want to happen. Nothing stupid, nothing, you know, just whatever we want to happen.
Or sometimes we'll just give each other free nuts because we're like, oh, if this, I don't even know what to say about it, but because it's Christmas, we get 2 nuts.
Well, I was on 0 and you were on 0, and just for the commencement of this show, we started back at 2.
Yes, exactly. We both had 0 nuts, and then I was like, nope, we're gonna get 2 nuts to start off with.
Yeah. So we'll be keeping a tally. I mean, if you'll bet, I'll bet. I doubt he's gonna lose clean. You know what I mean? But I'll bet if he wins, I'll shit my pants.
Okay. I mean, if you wanted to make a different nut bet, we can later on. But
true.
All right. So yeah, let's move on after that Brock and Paul segment.
Yeah. Natalya was interviewed and just kind of the she cut a good heartfelt babyface promo about how
she's gonna give it her best.
She's gonna win the title for her family for Christmas. It's gonna be the best gift,
Mm-hmm.
And that was actually the next match. That wasn't the main event. They had an hour. They had a damn near hour-long gauntlet match last week to hype up this Raw Women's title match. It was number one contenders gauntlet match, but then it's not even the main event this week. And not to mention, this match was actually really good. Like, say what you want about Ronda. She hasn't been doing it for a long time at all. She only started this year. And for her matches, her big matches, she choreographs like a week in advance with her opponent. But there was no preparation for this whatsoever. She just wrestled. This match went like 20 minutes, and
did it really? It really went that
yeah, I thought you could have construed this as slow, but I thought it was technical, and they kept putting holds on, but like it wasn't done in a way that was like boring, in my opinion. For some reason, I don't know. If this were any other match, I probably would have thought, well, damn, this is boring, because they just kept putting on holds. But for some reason, it was just like the story of it, like, because they're like best friends and everything, and it's like a back and forth technical bout, and
yeah.
I don't know. I just thought for how like little Ronda has been doing this, she's really good. She can get a good match out of a lot of people. If you can get a good match, if you can get 2 good matches out of Nia Jax, you're pretty good.
And I think like, and I want to say something because I have a friend who is a very, very big women's wrestling fan, and she hates Ronda because she thinks that Ronda's taking everything that all of the other women deserve.
Right.
But if you watch
Ronda's
matches, if you watch Ronda's matches, she is on a whole different level of storytelling. She's also on a whole different level of wrestling. I feel like Ronda was made for professional wrestling.
Right. Like, and she loved it forever. She has been a fan. She's a fan. She like gets it. She's just, and it also helped that she's like a fighter, because UFC fighters actually transition pretty well. So
I mean, except for Brock Lesnar.
Well, no, he was amazing, and he was a wrestler before UFC. I mean, I hate to say it. Yeah, that's true. I mean, as much as I hate to say it, I don't want Brock Lesnar to ever disgrace our television screens again, and I want him to drop the title, but he's amazing, But
I think his shtick has gotten old, though.
Right. It's definitely gotten old. If it's the new era, we gotta start, building up some people and actually having them win the big one. But either way, the point is, they had a really good match, Ronda and Natty. The story was there. There was a spot where Ronda kicked Natty through the ropes, where Natalya went for the sharpshooter, and they were like close to the ropes. Natty's back was turned to the ropes, and Ronda kicked her as a counter, and she went through the ropes and hit the outside of the ground and landed on the floor, and Ronda looked concerned,
Mm-hmm.
So because they're like friends, and then I guess that's how they explained. They went to commercial after that, but that's how they explained that Natalya got the upper hand because Ronda was concerned, So she let her guard down a little bit. So the story
kind of like making Natalya the heel in this situation.
Oh, Natalya, I think Natalya played the heel, but it was done in a way that it's face versus face. Somebody's got to do the holding, and somebody's got to do the selling. And say what you want. I know what you think about Ronda selling a lot, but Ronda's selling is actually really good.
Oh, I think she's great at it, but I just also think that
she sells too much.
She sells too much. Kind of how I felt when Asuka was against Emma in her first match. You remember that?
Right. Yeah. But at the same time, I totally get what you're saying. You gotta make a decision on how you're gonna book a dominant force, because they can't not sell forever. They gotta start somewhere. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and I agree. It's just I think that I don't know. I mean, I guess you can't just bury your entire women's roster like that. So.
Right. And Natalya's a veteran. They can get away with it in a lot of cases, because Natalya's a veteran and She's a
Now, if
former
she starts selling to Alicia Fox, now that's
that's never gonna happen. I don't think that's has that ever happened? I don't think so. But Natalia's got the upper hand. Ronda's selling. Natalia's posing for the crowd, which I thought was total heel work, and she put a rest hold on Ronda again, and Natalia was like to the crowd, "You like Ronda?" And the crowd's like cheering, I guess. And
yeah, we like Ronda.
and then she's like, "I like her too," and then she just keeps applying holds, which was kind of funny, I thought, a little bit. But and then Ronda eventually started to make her come back, and she hit those punches, and
yeah,
I think she needs to work on her punches for a fighter.
She kind of has Shane McMahon punches.
That's exactly what I was about to say. She has who trained her? Shane McMahon? Like for a fighter who's great at punching and everything.
Shane McMahon is the best in the world.
That's true. You can't get better training than the best in the world.
Exactly.
But she hit that like modified, that like spinning Samoan drop kind of,
Yeah.
It's called the Piper's Pit, which is like an homage, obviously, to Roddy Piper. And
I mean, I understand because like she's Rowdy Ronda Rousey, but I think at some point they need to separate her from the whole Piper thing.
Maybe. It depends on how long she stays, I guess. I read somewhere that she's only going to do it for so long, for like a year, but I don't know if that's true or not. There were rumors that she's going to SmackDown to like boost SmackDown because it's going to Fox. I wonder how that's going to work.
I can see that.
Yeah, maybe Becky Lynch can beat Ronda for the Raw Women's title, and then Ronda will go to SmackDown, so they swap. Maybe.
Do you think Ronda's going to lose at Mania?
It depends on who she faces. If she faces, I think, damn.
I think it's got to be a Mania, right?
It should be the main event. I don't care what anybody says. That match, it should be. I don't care what anybody says. The main event of WrestleMania should be Ronda versus Becky Lynch. You know what? I don't like the idea of it being a triple threat between Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda, which is probably what they're going to do. But hey, you know what? If they go with a triple threat, fine with me. I just would rather it be a singles. I think it's Becky's moment.
Yeah, I'd rather see Becky versus Ronda a singles match, and Asuka versus Charlotte too.
The rematch.
Yeah, this time with Asuka going over.
Maybe, yeah, that's a good story. Asuka's the champion this time. I don't see her lose. Man, what if? I don't know how they're going to do that. Who's Asuka in a face?
Rumors are that she would face like someone like Naomi or something. But even then, that's a pre-show match.
Yeah, they just had a match on SmackDown too. like a week ago. Remember that?
Yeah, I mean, maybe you could flip Alexa Bliss if she's cleared.
Maybe, yeah. Or, I mean, if they had like protected Sasha and Bayley, it could have been one of them.
Yeah. Like
Sasha and Asuka would be a great match. They had a great match on Raw earlier this year where Sasha almost killed herself. Remember that, the suicide dive? But either way, the finish was obviously the armbar, but she showed remorse, of course, like they were trying to convey, like, I guess it was like Ric Flair versus Shawn Michaels at Mania 24.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I love you.
Shawn doesn't want to do it, but he has to.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that. Obviously, that's an exaggeration because the stakes aren't that high. But it was kind of like that. She showed remorse on the armbar. She cinches in the armbar, and like at first I thought this was a tiny bit of a botch, where when Natalya tapped out, like Ronda let go really fast. Like I thought she like jumped the gun on letting go before she tapped. But then I thought maybe she let go so fast right as she tapped to because she didn't want to
hurt her friend.
Right, because they're friends. So I thought, honestly, that was a great match for Raw, for a Raw Women's title match. No preparation from Ronda. And, man, what else can you say about Ronda? Like, she's great, and they had a great match. And they embrace, and she raises Natty's hand, and they're both friends. There was no turn. So, I don't know what they do now. I don't know who Ronda faces. I guess maybe they could continue Natalya and Ronda. Maybe Natalya will turn. But I don't see that happening. I don't know what happens. We'll see. That was a great match.
Okay.
Actually, before this match, I forgot to mention the Tyler Breeze segment, which I thought was hilarious because the Santa segment, you know, not the Santa segment, what they want from Santa, what they want for Christmas, you know. Alexa Bliss is talking about how she wants from Santa a personality for Bailey, some humility for Sasha, some good makeup for Ronda, and then she goes, and for Natalia, actually she's a lost cause. You need to get her or anything. So of course Alexa's, you know, a heel and she's great, and Alexa looked amazing. I thought she's a beautiful woman, you know.
But then I'm not saying she's not a beautiful woman, but she's a beautiful woman.
She's a good looking lady. But
she's a looking broad.
Yeah, exactly. We're chauvinist pigs from the
right.
50s. But anyways, Tyler Breeze is asked what he wants, and he asks for a speedy recovery for his partner Fandango and some Ariana Grande tickets. And the dude offset is like, "You can only have one, dude," or something like that. And he's like, "I can only have one?" And he ponders for like a second or two, and he's like, "I'll take the tickets." So that was really funny. I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah. Next, they showed the vignette for Sami Zayn, who's returning soon. Which, again, filler, you know, because they already showed this a bunch of times. They did that with Kevin Owens earlier tonight, too. Earlier that show. And then it was Heath Slater versus Jinder Mahal. What a cool-off match that is, right? Like, Ronda and Natalia have this great match, and then next is Heath and Jinder. That's some, man, what a match to follow. But it wasn't a serious match, because in the crowd during the middle of the match, Jinder's like rest holding Heath, and in the crowd you can see Santa Claus, like a big Santa tossing toys in the crowd, and the camera.
I mean, you know, nothing but respect for my modern day Maharaja.
Yeah, I thought it would be funny if the Santa Claus in the crowd was Enzo. But no, it was Rhino. He was tossing. So he's not really fired. So he helps Heath
Slater.
He helps Heath because I think Jinder and the Singh brothers like attack him, you know, and they stand tall over. Yeah, it was by DQ. That's right, because Heath was about to win, but then the Singh bros broke up the pin. So Heath won by DQ, but then Rhino came out and helped Heath, and they embraced, obviously, you know, and that's great. They hugged, and it looks like Rhino's back, I guess. I thought he was fired, but maybe he, you know, I guess he's not going back to Impact.
I think there's no punishment worse than that.
Yeah. It's funny, too, because before Rhino we all knew it was Rhino, but before Rhino revealed and took off the Santa stuff to show that it was him, he hit the gore, and of course, every time Rhino hits the gore, you have to yell gore on commentary.
Yeah.
You have to. So before they even knew that it was officially, we knew, they knew too. They just used their intelligence, like, to know that it was Rhino, but they yell gore when Santa hitting the gore, the spear.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny, you know, like just before he takes off his Santa garb.
There's got to be a Santa pun that they could have pulled for that.
What, for gore?
Yeah, I don't even know. Like, I don't know.
What do you think his submission is? The gory special?
The gory special. There you go.
Yeah. So, and then back in commercial, they're doing more backstage Santa stuff. And
did you know that Kane used to be the Christmas creature?
What?
Back in before he was in WWF, he was in some sort of like really bush league fed, and he was the Christmas creature.
All I remember is that he was Isaac Yankem.
Yeah, Isaac Yankem.
Fucking dentist. That's great. Just amazing. I'm glad that didn't stick.
Now imagine if you had told someone who was watching WWF back then that Isaac Yankem would be around for 25 years and have won a world title.
And been brothers with The Undertaker.
Yeah, right. They tell you that they're going to report you for smoking too much meth.
Well, I wonder why they got rid of those gimmicks.
Because they didn't sell.
Yeah, back in the 80s, WWF was cartoony. It was cartoon characters.
Yeah.
Sergeant Slaughter was he's a legend, but he's a sergeant. And
have you ever watched the Dungeon of Doom in WCW?
was that the what was that?
That was with the Giant and the Yeti. And
the Yeti. Fuck, the Yeti.
That's something we should review, is the Dungeon of Doom. There you go.
Damn, just think that they were the biggest wrestling company on the planet at one point.
Yeah, and I mean, it was basically just monster movie villains for Hulk Hogan to destroy.
So kind of like ECW. The zombie.
The zombie.
The zombie. And then Sandman comes out. And then the Mummy, they had a vampire. Only the vampire was a mainstay. Kevin Thorne.
I was going to say that the vampire was real.
Who was his valet? Who was that chick?
Ariel,
that's right. Damn, I couldn't remember her name.
Yeah.
But either way, they do more. They do more backstage. What they want for Christmas, and who cares? It doesn't matter. Kurt Angle was backstage doing that too. All he said that the only gift he wanted was Baron Corbin not being general manager, and that's the only gift he needed. And I guess he got it. So I guess that was his Christmas. So the main event was Baron Corbin and Seth Rollins, and just an odd main event. It's the new era.
Do you have a rant to go on?
I did, but we've been dragging this thing out for too long. All I'm gonna say is it's the new era, and you just said a couple weeks ago you just buried Baron Corbin for why the show sucks. I mean, I know they said that it was the McMahon's fault. They admitted that themselves, but then they still scapegoated Corbin somewhat. So now what do? You put him in the main event. Kind of odd. There was a women's title match with Ronda Rousey, the biggest women's star in the world,
And she's playing second fiddle to Baron Corbin. Baron
Corbin again. And so you know what the worst part is? He's still in his dumb vest and you know what he looks like? You know what he actually looks like? Just picture this, okay? He looks like a taller, stupider Low-Ki.
Oh my God, Low-Ki. Oh my God, I forgot about Low-Ki.
You know how Low-Ki, I don't know if he wears it anymore because I haven't been watching MLW or anything, but you know how he wore the suit? Like he looks like Hitman? Like his gimmick is that he's Hitman? But I think that was actually part of his character.
Yeah.
He looks.
I think he did have the barcode on the back of his head.
Yeah, he looks. Baron Corbin with this stupid attire looks like a dumber, taller, stupider, dumb idiot, dumb Low-Ki. And Low-Ki's low. I mean, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. But
Low-Ki is low-key good.
I was gonna say that Low-Ki looks dumb already.
Oh.
But Corbin looks like a dumb Low-Ki. Just more Baron Corbin in the main event, everyone. So it was all right. This match wasn't bad. I like Corbin to the extent that he's got potential and everything, but he just looks stupid with his attire. I can't take him seriously. He has no value anymore since he's not the GM. There's no more heel heat to be had.
I mean, he's just a punching bag.
He's just a punching bag. But they had an all right match. It wasn't bad at all. They had a back and forth sequence, and Seth won, of course, with the curb stomp. And I mean, what else do you say? They did the spot where they ducked the blackout, the curb stomp, which is what it's actually called, the blackout. So, yeah. I do want to say something. Every time Corbin hits the deep six, that looks awesome.
He does do that. He does one move really well.
Yeah, that always looks good. So that's it. That's Raw. It was Merry Christmas Eve edition. That was Christmas Eve edition of Raw, and Seth. Yeah. No freaking Dean coming out. I think we did miss a Dean segment where he was talking about how Seth is poopy and everything.
Did he get another shot in the ass?
Yeah. Yeah, he got a shot. He got a Christmas shot in the ass.
He got a shot of Christmas cheer.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, that was Raw. So I guess, like we said last week, we'll breeze through SmackDown, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
We might as well embrace how long it is at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
We'll work on it. It's the second episode.
Yeah, right. We'll work out the kinks.
We'll work out. So,
Also, I think this might be a little bit faster though because I haven't seen anything, so I don't really have any like opinions.
Right, and SmackDown is an hour shorter.
Yeah,
and there were some recaps and stuff on SmackDown. Like there's recaps every show, but it also it speeds the show along when there's recaps on a 2-hour show compared to like 3 hours, I guess. But either way, the show starts and Truth and Carmella come out. One of my favorite acts in the whole company. Like months ago, I have nothing against Carmella, but I hated her as champion because her matches were all the same. Just the dumb, it was much like Jinder's reign, where like
don't you be talking about my Jinder like that.
No, it was much like his reign where he just every match was the same, where the Sin Brothers just, help him win. It was kind of like that. But if you would have told me a couple months ago that R-Truth and Carmella would be one of the most entertaining acts in the entire company, I would have laughed.
You would have told us to fuck off.
Kinda, yeah. But they come out, Truth is dressed up as Santa Claus, and Carmella's dressed up as an elf, and damn, dude. She can make anything look good. You know what I mean? I don't want to be creepy, but that's just, it's a compliment. It's not creepy.
Yeah,
but
no.
they called them Truthy Claus, I believe, and Carmelfa.
I don't know about that one.
Carmelfa. Huh.
More like Carmelfa, huh?
I was gonna say it kind of a little close to Carmelfa, but she's not a mother. I don't think she's a mother.
I don't know.
But yeah. So they're they're talking about they get in the ring. They're talking about this is the opening of the show. They talk about the reindeers, Dasher and Dancer, Jermaine and Tito, Little Michael and Randy, Samuel, and I thought they missed an opportunity to say Little Jimmy.
Yeah, you know what? They really should have.
I thought they should have. They didn't say that. But then after he says Samuel, they're like, they do the dance break, But then they did a carol break where they're singing carols and stuff, which was it got a little cringy. I mean, I got into it because it's Truth and Carmella, but it was kind of cringe, them singing carols. And then Daniel Bryan interrupted, and I was kind of thankful for that because that was kind of getting awkward. But Daniel Bryan came out, and again, he shits on Christmas, pretty much. He shits on the crowd for being so material because, I guess materialistic wants and desires are bad, Talking about how he said, it may not be obvious, but this is not the real Santa Claus, talking about Truth. So it's kind of a funny line. And he said he was going to expose the real Santa Claus. He understands why we all love Santa. He's the epitome of our material desires. And he's like, but you know what that gets us? It gets half the coral reef gone on the planet. And talks about how garbage islands are formulating in the ocean, and islands of trash, and the glaciers melting, the sea levels rising, and in 20 years there will be no North Pole and no Santa Claus.
And also the fluoride in the water is turning the freaking frogs gay.
Turning the frogs gay, yes. Actually, that's the exact opposite of what.
Yeah, right.
Is, since he's like a SJW liberal character, which I love, by the way. I think Daniel Bryan's awesome at it. He's really having fun with this. You can tell. He's great. But Truth calls Daniel an angry little elf, which was totally, the crowd was edited to cheer that, because I guarantee if that wasn't edited, no one, I mean, they would probably laugh because it's Truth, but they over-edited a lot. That's what I noticed. They over-edited a lot of things, reactions that would normally just get normal amounts of cheers, I guess.
Yeah.
They made it sound like it was the funniest damn thing he's ever said when I was listening to the crowd. So, he's shitting on Truth, and Truth's talking about how, well, I'm last in the Royal Rumble. So maybe you better be careful about what you say. I might win the Royal Rumble and challenge you for the title at WrestleMania. And then
imagine if we get Truth versus Daniel Bryan at Mania.
And then that would be hilarious. R-Truth is actually good. He might be a comedy act, but he's actually good in the ring.
And I mean, I think he deserves it, but not. They had not built him up properly.
Oh, they're never going to do that. He was NWA champion.
Yeah, no, right. NWA champion Ron Killings.
TNA. Ron the Truth Killings in TNA.
Wasn't he? Didn't he team up with Pac-Man Jones?
Pac-Man Jones. Damn. What a man.
What a throwback.
What a disaster.
What an asshole.
I know, that was a disaster of a pickup. You know? Can you imagine if NXT picked up Kareem Hunt? That's the equivalent.
Ray Rice signing his contract.
Ray Rice. Ray Lewis.
Ray Lewis.
Because didn't he hold up a guy? Didn't he help a dude get murdered?
Yeah, he allegedly was involved in a murder.
Right. So.
All right. Do you want to just run down something? I need to use the bathroom really bad. So I mean, it'll literally be like 10 seconds.
No, that's fine. Yeah, I'll run down the rest of this stuff, and you can just pick up.
Yeah, I'll just come back in. So thank you.
All right. So Daniel Bryan tells Truth, "How do you think you're going to win the Rumble if you can't even count to 30?" Which was kind of funny, I guess. And Truth says he can count to 30. And he goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Dance break. 7-second dance break. That's what it was. He goes to 7. He goes 7-second dance break, and they do a dance break, and Daniel just destroys him up and down the stretch. He kicks his fucking head in and applies the heel hook and destroys his leg, and that's pretty much it. The referees get him off, and Daniel leaves. And I thought that Carmella was just watching. I mean, Carmella's got these spiky heels on. She could have kicked Bryan in the eyeball. If I thought she could have kicked him in the head, should have kicked him in his fucking head. Kicked his fucking head in. That's right. But no, she just stood there and watched it, and poor R-Truth on Christmas, just got destroyed, and that's that. So
wait, R-Truth got destroyed by Daniel Bryan?
Yeah, I was just saying, he chop blocked him, put the heel hook on him. He kicked his fucking head in, and Carmella was just standing there watching when she could have done something, because she could have kicked him. She was wearing heels. But either way, they're never going to do that. They're never going to do that.
Yeah.
But either way, the next match was Andrade Almas versus Mustafa Ali, which made me poop my britches a little bit when I saw that. Because last week on SmackDown, during that tag match with AJ Mustafa versus Daniel and Almas, I tweeted out, wouldn't it be great if Mustafa and Almas went one-on-one and got time? That would be awesome. So the very next show, they have Mustafa and Andrade, which was awesome. And, of course, they have a good back-and-forth match. What's that?
Did they get some time?
Yeah, they got some good time. They didn't give them, 5 minutes or anything. They got, maybe 10 minutes, 10, 12 minutes. They got a decent amount of time for SmackDown. And, of course, they're both amazing and they have a great match. And they did this, they do the DDT where they spin around, where almost catches Mustafa, but he twirls around.
Like a tilt-a-whirl DDT?
Yeah. And that looked always awesome. And they, man, I don't know. I'm just thinking about it, and it's kind of cool that Mustafa's actually immediately getting a nice little push. He
deserves it.
I mean, I kind of feel bad for Almas. I'm not saying losing to Mustafa is a bad thing, but I just wish that he was higher up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, what are you
gonna do? We got a great match. This probably won't hurt Almas in the long run. Hey, maybe he'll win the Rumble.
I mean, you have heel champion, so
right.
You got to build up some babyface contenders.
Right. And maybe, what if they do Mustafa versus Daniel at the Royal Rumble for the title? Because, and I'll get to that. Hold on, I'll get to that. So the finish of the match is Mustafa hits him with the 054, and which always looks great. He didn't botch it this time, which was good. because he botched it last week against Daniel, if you recall. So he didn't get buried, looks like. And that's good. So
yeah, always a good sign.
Usos are walking backstage and they're hyping up their, they're gonna fight after the break. But then Samoa Joe cuts a promo on Jeff Hardy backstage. And Joe is just awesome at promos. And he goes, "It's always nice to create new memories and make up for the ones you destroyed." Directing it towards Jeff, because Jeff has a history of substance abuse, and he's glad to meet him in the ring. Huh?
And a dead dog.
Ooh, that Matt Hardy killed.
Yeah, right. You killed my dog, Matt Hardy.
You remember that? They tried to say that Matt was the one who burnt down Jeff's house. That story was great, but that part I didn't like. I'm supposed to believe that, really? He should go to jail for that. He admitted that he's an arsonist.
Not only that, he fucking killed someone's dog.
He killed someone's dog. Yeah. Millions in damages. Killed someone's dog. He's an arsonist. I guess that's just allowed. I guess this is WWE we're talking about. Roman Reigns tried to murder Braun Strowman with an ambulance, and nothing happened.
Let's not forget that the Big Boss Man cooked Al Snow's dog Pepper.
Yeah, and the Big Boss Man crashed Big Show's father's funeral.
Yeah, the Big Boss Man did a lot of fucking fucked up shit.
The Big Boss Man got hanged. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Against The Undertaker.
The Hell in a Cell
WrestleMania.
He got hanged. Or was it Hell in a Cell? I can't remember. But he got hanged. Damn, how did he not die? I mean, he's dead now, but he didn't die from that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it must have been some sort of little trick. But.
Yeah. Well, either way, I don't know how he got on that, but Joe cut a great promo backstage because he's, just shitting on Jeff, talking about how everything's gonna fade away for his own good because they're fighting tonight. I keep saying tonight as if it's tonight, because they're fighting on that show later tonight.
Yeah.
Whatever. So then, New Day come out, and everybody's out. By the way, I should just note that everybody's out for this tag match. It's Sanity and the Bar versus the Club and the Usos.
What about the Colognes? No mention of the Colognes.
The poor Colognes. Yeah, that's true. Too. But before the match starts, the New Day come out and they're dressed kind of in, festive wear, and they're going to do commentary on that extra announce table with pancakes, and the pancakes were colored with food dye, like red and green.
Yeah,
for the festive season. And Big E. This is funny. I don't know if you notice this, but throughout SmackDown every week, Corey Graves and Big E kind of eggs on Corey Graves because Corey Graves hates the New Day, that's his gimmick or whatever, and because he's a heel commentator, and Big E comes over and he's oiling himself. He's got a big thing. He's got a container of oil, right?
Yes.
And his shirt is off, and he's ripped. He's got big breasts and everything, and big pecs, and he's oiling himself up in a oddly sexual manner, I guess you could say. He goes over to Corey with oil all over him and oiling himself up, and he attempts to get Corey to touch him, like his chest.
Yeah.
He grabs his hand, and Corey's like, "Oh, what?" He doesn't want to do it, which was funny. So,
yeah. I want to see them try to do that shit with Jerry Lawler.
Oh, yeah. I don't think he would want to do that.
He would probably throw a fit.
He might call him a flaming F word.
Yeah, right.
Like he did the Goldust.
The Goldust, yeah. I think I sent you that video.
Man, you could get away with a lot back then.
Yeah, right. Like the sign that said "Goldust raped my dad."
Damn, I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Or one in 2008, the sign said, "Chris Benoit is my father. No one tell him."
Oof. Or there was one. I know it was Judgment Day because it's a joke from the Attitude Era podcast. Yeah. There was one and it said, I think it was Brett is a pedophile.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and it's just not like Bret Hart, but it just said it's some dude's name and it said blank is a pedophile, and someone on the Attitude Era podcast was like, are they just trying to tell us, and this is the only way they could think of alerting the authorities is by making a sign?
Yeah. Yeah. There were some funny signs back then.
Yeah.
But either way.
Like I think it was what was it? I think it was like Steve Austin equals 100% CEO or whatever.
Oh, was that when he was he took control or something?
Yeah. But I just think like and then there was like Sable 420-69 or something like that.
Yeah.
But all right, so let's go back to SmackDown with the New Day.
So they're doing this the Club and the Usos versus Sanity in the Bar, and I thought this was cool. Alexander Wolf gets in the ring, and you know how big he is. Like, he's not a small dude. He's a tall. He's kind of big. You know, he's not like Killian Dane size, but he's a big dude. He does a standing moonsault onto his opponent.
All right.
Yeah, he does a standing moonsault onto Jimmy Uso, and the commentary barely put it over, which annoyed me because this big dude just did a standing moonsault, and it wasn't even like close where he almost didn't get it. Like, he got all of it. You know how good Apollo Crews' standing moonsault is? Like, Alexander Wolf got in the air for this, and the commentary barely put it over. So that was annoying. But, you know, Club and Usos are in some hard troubles right now, and you know, they get the hot tag, and they actually had a cool, you know, they always have to have the super kick party with the Usos and everything, and they had the whole, I hit my big move, and then I hit my big move on you, and then somebody else hits their big move on me, and then they do that, you know. And the Bar were pinned in this match.
Yeah, you pinned the tag team champs.
The club pinned Cesaro, did the Magic Killer at the end. And what I thought was interesting, like, they pinned the tag champs, but they didn't pin Sanity, who they don't care about protecting. I mean, I guess they do now, maybe, because maybe they're going to utilize them now because it's a new era and they're actually going to listen to the fans.
I mean, I hope so.
So they pinned the Bar, and that the Club pinned the champions, and that leads them in the running, I guess, for a tag title match. And it was whatever, you know, it was cool. It was your standard tag match. It was an 8-man tag match. And up next, they did, again, the video packages about the NXT stars. So they're really beating into our heads that, you know, which is cool, but a lot of filler. But either way, backstage, Mustafa Ali is, he's like, you know, not celebrating, but he's like, you know, relishing in his win over Almas backstage, walking backstage, and he runs into a bunch of guys from 205 Live, like the faces. Okay. He runs into Brian Kendrick, who is a face, by the way. I know you don't watch 205 Live, but he turned face. And he runs into Tozawa. They're like all buddy, and then he runs into Cedric Alexander, who's his best friend. So they're like hugging and like, good job up there, dude, and you know, it's great. And then this was interesting. Then they do the whole, you know how sometimes backstage when a person runs into somebody, they don't immediately pan over to them to make it seem like it's a big, not big, but like it's a, you know, like it's a person that is of good interest, right? To make it seem like it's a big person that they're running into backstage. And then it pans over, and then it's Shelton Benjamin.
Why?
Looking like a heel. Because I thought he was heel all this time, because he hasn't been on TV at all. I've been watching SmackDown every week, and he was a heel last time I saw him. So I thought, are we getting Shelton versus Mustafa? Which actually kind of sounds like a fun match. But Shelton is looking at him menacingly like he's a heel, and then he's like, I want to officially welcome you to the SmackDown roster, and he shakes his hand. So I guess Shelton's a face now. And Mustafa's like, coming from you, that means a lot. And then out of nowhere, Daniel Bryan attacks Mustafa from behind, and he totally lays them out backstage, and the cruiserweights pull them apart from each other, and out Mustafa is beaten down, and he goes back in for seconds, and then he finally gets taken away, and it looks like we might be getting Mustafa versus Bryan at the Rumble.
I would. So I would love to see Mustafa Ali WWE Championship match. I know he's not going to win, but
that's never going to happen. But I'm just excited for the fact that they're going to get. I mean, they had a match on SmackDown, but they could do so much more at the Rumble with a lot of time in a title match. You know. So I'm excited.
Do you think if Mustafa does well enough that he could get a United States title?
Possibly. I think. I'm kind of. I mean, I'm not surprised that he didn't win the Cruiserweight title because I didn't see it happening because Cedric was champion for so long. And they could have done it. They could have had Buddy Murphy drop the title to Mustafa because they had a title match on a pre-show. That was a TLC pre-show, I believe. And they could have had it, but I think they want to keep Buddy as champion. So Mustafa got called up and maybe, eventually, well, I don't know about that. I was going to say maybe he could go to Raw and challenge for the IC title, but he just came up to SmackDown. They're not going to switch him over that fast, you know?
Yeah, unless they do like a superstar shakeup after.
Unless they switch the IC title and US title.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, though. I don't know. Either way, if Mustafa's going to go for a run at the US title, I would not be against that at all because he's amazing, so... Next segment is the Miz TV with Shane McMahon, and this was really interesting because Miz cuts this promo because the story is Miz has been trying to get Shane McMahon as his teammate for weeks, and nobody really knows why. I was like, why are they doing this? What is this coming from? Because they integrated the Best of the World story, you know, the trophy because Shane replaced Miz, so they set it up like that, but I still didn't really know why they were doing this. So then he reveals on this Miz TV with Shane McMahon out there that his father, he actually, you know, Miz is obviously a great promo. He cut a great promo here. Like, this was an awesome promo, and talking about how he just wants to make his dad proud. He's never made his dad smile or proud or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
But he wants to team with Shane because when Shane McMahon won the Best in the World trophy at Crown Jewel, he said that his father, Mrs. Father, said that, see thou, that is a guy right there. That's a you know, that's a real man right there, or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
And he has no fear. Shane McMahon, he has no fear. He fights for what he believes in. And he said that his accomplishments to his father really meant nothing. He's a Grand Slam champion. He pointed that out, right? He's a Grand Slam champion. He's won everything. He's, you know, he's great on the mic. He's had the full package, and it still wasn't enough for his father. But he thought that if he could make his dad proud if he teams with Shane, because his father loves Shane, I guess. And man, it was a great promo. And Shane ended up going, you know what? You better not screw me on this. I'll team with you. And they shake hands, and I guess they're a team now. And I don't want to be a party pooper. I don't want to be, because I complain so much and whine so much. But I'm supposed to believe that Shane McMahon will make Miz's father proud. Do you know how much Miz has done in this company? He has done everything besides the Royal Rumble. He has done everything. He has been in every match. He has been in Elimination Chambers. He's won WWE titles. He's won the US title. He's almost about to beat Chris Jericho's record. I don't know if it's a record, but he's about to pass his total of IC title wins. He's like one away, I think. He's done it all. But I'm supposed to believe that it means nothing compared to what Shane McMahon has done. That's hokey. Of all the things that I say are hokey, this legitimately is hokey. What do you think?
I think this is an obvious, like, Miz is going to screw him.
Maybe.
Like, I also think, like, Yeah, I don't know. Like, I just think that this is so telegraphed. Unless it's going to be Shane who turns, which would be, like, an
Refreshing.
actual shocker. But I don't know.
I don't know. I just think the idea that Miz is pretty much a legend in this company, and it means nothing. But Shane, on the other hand, he's the best in the world. That just doesn't make sense to me. It makes sense, I guess, if the story is like you said, Miz is gonna screw Shane because Miz was pissed that his father loved Shane but not him, you know, or whatever. Like he loves Shane, but Miz's father is not proud of Miz. So maybe, I guess, but I don't know. If they what if they win the tag titles?
Oh, God, no.
Dude, this means we have to see Shane McMahon wrestle.
Again.
Oh. No disrespect to Shane. God bless him. You know, he's the nicest McMahon out of all of them. He's awesome. But I'm not excited for seeing Shane wrestle. Did you see that match he had a couple weeks ago against the Jobbers, against the local competitors?
No, I didn't.
It was bad. Like, Shane is capable of having good matches, but he gets tired so easily.
He sweats like there's no tomorrow.
You should have seen this. He got gassed a couple weeks ago. He got gassed in a 2-minute match against local competitors and botched a DDT. And how do you botch a DDT?
Isn't
You
that
just
like
fall
something you
backwards.
just learn?
I think it was his spinning DDT. You know, I don't know. I just think
Imagine how nervous those jobbers had to be fighting the son of the boss of the company.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't. I find it hard to believe that Shane is this awesome fighter and Mrs. Father loves him, but he could barely beat local competitors. I mean, he squashed them, but he barely beat them in the sense that the offense was terrible. We'll see. I'm a fair man. I don't want to just shit on everything, like I said, but it's not looking too good in that sense. So after that, Miz and Shane, they do the yes chants and they raise hands. So it looks like they're called the best tag team in the world, I guess now. That's because that's they both share the trophy. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this. Miz had the best in the world trophy in the ring on a table, and he put a Santa hat on it. That was kind of funny. So yeah. Next after that was Jeff Hardy and Samoa Joe. So
was that any good?
It was all right, but Jeff Hardy you can tell he's like not as what he used to be. Obviously, age will do that, but like it's a miracle he can walk. You know, like it was a brawl, I guess. I thought at first the match kind of dragged on. They're supposed to be in like a huge feud where it's like a blood feud kind of, right? Because Joe's bringing up his terrible past and Jeff hates him for that, right? And it was just kind of a match at first, right? So I thought, well, that's odd. Aren't they supposed to be in some heated feud? Wouldn't they just be all out against each other? And it started out that way, and Jeff hits the twist of fate, and Samoa Joe rolls out of the ring after Jeff tries to go for the swanton. So he's out of the ring, and they're brawling back outside the ring, and Jeff is kicking the shit out of Joe next to the barricade, and it ends up getting him DQ'd. So Jeff actually loses his cool. So I thought, well, finally, this is what I wanted to see. This makes sense, right? Because this is supposed to happen, right? They're in a blood feud. They're brawling heavily, and
how many times do you see a blood feud when somebody is like, and then they get into the match and then they start off with a headlock?
That was what Dean Ambrose versus Seth was at TLC.
That is so annoying to me.
That's exactly what that was. Yeah. Were you gonna go on or?
Oh no.
Oh, okay. Well,
Sorry,
then
I am like on
no,
the
it's all right.
struggle bus here because like I am sick, but I'm still listening. So
No, it's all right. It's all right. Jeff throws Joe over the table, the announce table, and he goes back to like, I guess, kick some more shit out of him. But then Joe puts him in the coquina clutch and chokes him out. And so the feud's gonna continue. I guess maybe they'll have an Extreme Rules match. Maybe they'll have a gimmick match because to fit the theme of the blood feud and everything. And see, the thing is, this feud actually is what Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose should have been. Right?
yeah, I mean, and honestly, I
It had
feel
less
like
build
Seth
up,
and
but-
Dean should have been like the bigger feud of the two.
Right, exactly. This feud kind of had less build up, but Joe has been so good with his delivery and Jeff is lovable. It just works. The dynamic is great, because Joe's an awesome heel and Jeff is a babyface and he's been through it all and he's a crowd favorite. And this is exactly what Seth and Dean should have been. Obviously, this wasn't the blow off or anything, and it looks like Seth and Dean is still going to continue. But I don't know where you go from here. I think maybe they do a no DQ Extreme Rules match at Royal Rumble. I don't know who goes over, but we'll see. I'm glad that this is an actual blood feud.
Yeah.
So next, they announced that next week, John Cena is returning to SmackDown. So that's kind of out of nowhere. I thought. I mean, I know Vince's Santa Claus announced it on Raw, but I guess is he going to Raw as well, or is he just going to SmackDown next week? Interesting. Either way, after that, the Usos are walking backstage, relishing in their win, kind of like Mustafa was, and they're like, I'm sorry, I can't help but laugh because this story is funny. Jay's like, all right, I'm gonna head out now or whatever, and they like do the the handshake that brothers do or whatever, right?
Yeah, right.
And Jay walks away, so it's just Jimmy in the hallway backstage, and Jimmy runs into Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of remember how this just a little. I kind of remember this happening, but not really. The story is Mandy is in a feud with Naomi, and Jimmy is married to Naomi, right? So Mandy, to try and go against Naomi, is hitting on Jimmy, right? Trying to hit on him. So Jimmy walks into Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, who I guess were just waiting there for him, because wow, how lucky that they just managed to walk down this exact hallway that Mandy and Sonya were at, right? So Mandy points out a mistletoe hanging above them, and he's like, you know what this means, Jimmy, right? And at first I thought this meant, does that mean Jimmy's gonna kiss Mandy and Sonya? Because Sonya's a lesbian. That ain't gonna work. But I guess the story is just Mandy is trying to hit on Jimmy to get at Naomi. So, and then out of nowhere, Mandy's like trying to make a move on Jimmy, and then out of nowhere, Naomi comes out and tries to go after Mandy, and Jimmy holds her back, and then eventually, they run off Mandy and Sonya because they're scared because they're heels, and then Jimmy and Naomi kiss under the mistletoe, which was nice. So. Thoughts on this story?
I don't even know where you can go with it, because how are you like how are you gonna keep the Usos involved in one feud and then have to have Jimmy in another?
I think it was more just Naomi. I think Jimmy's just like a stepping stone for Naomi in this feud. Not stepping stone, but you know what I mean. I think this is just kind of a little side thing for Jimmy. Not major. This is major for Naomi because this is her storyline.
Yeah.
So I guess this is where you maybe bring in Naomi and Lana, since Naomi tweeted that, right? Or Lana tweeted that, or somebody.
Yeah.
About how they want to be partners.
Yeah, because then you're gonna have Sonya and Mandy. So.
Right. So I mean, that is what it is. It's, you know how there are filler feuds, filler stories,
definitely
right?
a filler story.
Right. So, and you know what? Yeah, I read that apparently Vince really likes Mandy,
Well,
and I
I
thought,
mean,
wow,
not
color me
surprised.
shocked. She's a blonde. She's
Yeah.
beautiful. She's athletic. You know, she's fit. She's literally everything Vince likes. And I actually don't think she's too bad in the ring either. You don't really get to see much of her, but her and Sonya are actually pretty good. I thought they're capable of going at it in the ring. Not that way, but the main event. This is Rusev and Nakamura, and I thought this was actually a really good match. It was. They had. I sadly I got spoiled since it was taped. I knew who was going to win. I knew Rusev was going to win. So near the latter parts, they had. I thought, man, if I weren't spoiled, I would have thought Nakamura was going to retain
Really?
because Nakamura was hitting him with everything, and he hit a Kinshasa, and Rusev kicked out, and then Rusev hit Nakamura with the Machka kick. And I thought that was it because I knew Rusev won, and I thought, oh, this is the finish. But no, it wasn't. He kicked out Nakamura, and that's where that awesome photo of Rusev came in that I sent you. You remember that?
You sent me
He's
that
like,
photo like 3 times already.
yeah. It was funny. We'll have to link that, I guess. But that was his reaction where he didn't win. It was this match really was great. Like they both, I don't know, they have a weird chemistry, Rusev and Nakamura. It's odd. This match just worked, and it was entertaining as hell. And Rusev eventually did win by hitting the match kick, I think he hit the match kick. Yeah, hit the match kick, and he won the title.
I hope that they give Rusev time
to like become a. Well, I guess I can't say become a star because he already is, but
like to actually have a good run.
Right. Well, we'll see because they didn't give Nakamura a great run. That's sad. Nakamura's really good and whatever. Poor Nakamura. Wonder what he does next, you know? What's he gonna do? Maybe he'll go back to New Japan.
Oh, jeez. You and every other Mark.
Well, I mean, you gotta wonder, what does he do after this? You know?
Maybe
there's not
Nakamura versus Daniel Bryan.
Well, they're both heels.
Yeah, they're both heels, but I think you could turn Nakamura face.
Maybe.
You can turn him face at any time, I feel. He's one of those guys.
Right. I don't think he wants to do that, though. I don't think they want to do that, sorry. Because Nakamura's great. I hope whatever he does next, they actually treat him right. And, you know, it was a real shame that his title run wasn't anything. But after that, Rusev is celebrating, and Lana was out there the whole time as well, and managing him like the good old days, right?
Yeah.
And Lana looked great. She was happy for him. They embraced, and it was a great celebration. And at this point, there was like 3 minutes left in the show, and I thought, well, what? They're going to celebrate the title win for 3 minutes? That's a lot of time. But no, after this, AJ's walking backstage, and who else but Vince McMahon? I didn't see this coming because I did not see this spoiled. Maybe they taped this and didn't show it to that live audience.
Maybe that's possible
because I didn't see any spoilers for this. Maybe, I guess I could be wrong. I could just look, but Vince McMahon AJ runs into Vince McMahon rather, and Vince asks AJ his name. And
shit.
AJ's like, my name is AJ Styles. And, you know, he goes through all of his shticks. I'm AJ Styles, the face that runs the place.
This is Smackdown,
the house that AJ Styles built, the phenomenal one. He goes through all that, right, and gets into it. And McMahon goes, if this is the house that AJ Styles built, why aren't you, sorry, or Daniel Bryan competing tonight. Instead, Daniel Bryan is raising hell in the hallway. And he wants to know who the real AJ Styles is. And this is, I thought, what the hell is this? I had no idea what was going on. But he's like egging on AJ during this. And he's like, I've this is my Vince impression. I've seen superstars come and go. That actually sounds like more like Hulk Hogan, to be honest. But either way, he's like, I've seen superstars come and go.
I'd do it if I wouldn't have a coughing fit.
Yeah, my throat is kind of sore from talking for so long, so I can't really do it that great. But he goes,
hopefully I get to see the next week's action, so
right,
so that I can actually go run down it with you.
Right. Well, Vince goes, I've seen superstars come and go and become complacent, and I know that's not you. Talking to AJ.
Yeah.
He says that he has a hole in his heart. He has a dark hole in his heart, or a black hole in his heart. If he can't control that, nobody knows what will happen. But I want to see it. Because if you harness all of that and brutalize that locker room, terrorize anyone who steps in front of you in that squared circle, there's an animal in him begging to get out. It's eating you alive. I want to see that so bad. And then he slaps AJ across the face. Like he's totally egging him on. And AJ's like, he like keels back because he just got slapped in the face. And then they stare down and AJ just fucking forearms Vince in the face and knocks him to the ground. And he screams in his face like, ah, or whatever, like he's mad.
Yeah.
And then the geeks come by, or not the geeks, but like the producers. I can't say that. The producers come out, and they like break it up, and AJ storms off. And
you know what I'm thinking this is leading to?
Vince goes, he's happy. He's on the ground. He just got decked. He's happy. He's smiling. And that is how the show ends. And I thought, wow.
Do you think that could be leading to AJ versus Triple H?
Possibly. Maybe.
Because I was thinking AJ Shane, but then Shane's with Miz, and we've seen that before. You've seen AJ Shane. So I'm thinking, who's the next closest person to McMahon's?
AJ versus Vince.
No way.
Well, you know how Shawn Michaels fought Vince. That whatever WrestleMania was.
Yeah, that was what, 10 years ago?
23?
Yeah, so that was almost, almost 13 years ago.
Just imagine. Well, you know what this show needs? This show needs me, damn it. We need ratings, damn it.
Yeah, I think it's going to lead to AJ versus Triple H.
Maybe. That's interesting. What if this is a funny thought. What if they bring back the Authority and AJ is the new Authority's guy? What if AJ turns heel and they reform the Authority?
Oh, Jesus Christ. And he's the Seth Rollins.
Right. I'd actually hate that. I'm sick of the Authority. We don't need more Authority. Authority's done. That lasted way too long.
So what did you think of the actual episodes of Raw and SmackDown? Which one did you think was better?
Damn. I thought they were actually good shows, both of them. I think Ronda and Natalia was so good. But Rusev and Shinsuke was great, and that AJ.
What about the Miracle on 34th Street match?
Yeah, that was fun. That's a hard one. I think they were both kind of even in their own way because both had good stuff.
Yeah, I can't make a decision, so you have to choose the winner this week.
Damn. I guess. But I want to say SmackDown, but Ronda and Natalia was so good. I really enjoyed that match. I think I'm gonna go SmackDown, but just barely. Okay. I think it was really close. I did not think these were bad episodes. last week SmackDown was pretty good, I thought, and Raw last week was kind of meh. This week, I thought they were both good shows. They were not bad. They were definitely not bad like a couple weeks ago and for months. So I'm happy. I'm happy, man. And
Awesome.
And actually, Raw just about ended. Like in real life, they were taping Raw. So maybe we should go through the spoilers and review that. I'm just kidding.
No, man, I am bushed, and honestly, I'm sick, and I'm so sorry that to the people listening, because I have been like completely silent and have been letting Teebs do everything this entire episode.
It's all right.
But yeah, it's like I'm sick, so I didn't see the shows. I couldn't really do much, but I did want to get a show out here because I know you wanted to talk about the reviews. So we are going to do one-off episodes that aren't reviews at some point. Hopefully when we're both better and we both have more time on our hands.
Right.
But I think that's it for episode 2. Anything else you wanted to add before we sign
off? No. Maybe we can record some one-offs like during weekends.
Yeah, something like that. Because I'm off weekends. I except for tomorrow, I have to go to work at 7 o'clock.
Okay. Either way, we'll figure something out. I got to learn to not keep. This is pretty long. Honestly, this feels longer than last week's, and that was like almost 2 hours.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for listening. Thank you for enduring the marathon that was episode 2.
Yes. Thank you.
And we'll see you again next week. Hopefully, we'll get a one-off episode out at some point. But thank you so much for listening. We'll see you again next week.
Goodbye.